Hey, it's Mike here. Just doing a quick video. What we're putting together. Chris and I went to the range recently. We did some shooting of his new Glock 21 Generation 4 and my FNP-45, two full-size 45 automatics. I'm sure anybody that's watching this video is probably somewhat familiar with the two. They're actually two very comparable firearms. So going to show you some shooting and then talk a little bit about the differences based on both Chris's and my experience and what we think of the two firearms.
Top to bottom, FNP-45. It's a Glock 22, HK USP Compact 45. SIG 226 Combat 9mm, Glock 21 45.
And none of them suck. Chris Kaiser, Glock 21 Gen 4 45 ACP. FNP 45. Bugs are bad in the shit.
Okay, what Chris and I both noticed about the two pistols. First of all, they both shoot really light for 45s compared to your average 45. The standard is very high when you're comparing these two pistols. Let's just start with that. The recoil is probably, the average recoil I'd say is similar between the two pistols, but the Gen 4 delivers it, in my opinion, and I think Chris agrees with me here, better on average. So basically, your ability to get back on target, probably the same. The Glock might have a very slight advantage on that, but I don't know. It should be about the same. But where it's different is just I think over long term, I think shooter fatigue might be a little bit less with the Glock, just because you don't really feel the slides, slam back to full lock to the rear like you do with the FNP. And the FNP isn't bad, but the Glock's almost, it's amazing. It's probably the dual spring system. As it gets towards the back, there's just a little bit of extra suspension there, and I think that's the difference there. So as far as recoil goes, that's probably what I'll say about the two, is that they're similar, but I just think the Glock shoots a little bit better as it pertains to recoil. As far as accuracy goes, these are both very, very accurate pistols. The Glock does have the advantage of a polygonal barrel. They're both hammer forged barrels, but the Glock's is polygonal, just like H&K and just like SIG Sauer. So if there's a difference in accuracy, it probably goes to the Glock. I didn't notice one. Chris and I were both able to shoot them with very, very tight groups at a number of distances. We both prefer the factory sights on the FNP to the Glock, but that's a preference thing. If you like Glock sights, obviously that's a thing, and you can swap them out very easily and inexpensively. As far as cost, the Glock is a little bit less expensive than the FNP. As far as functions go, the Glock, I mean, it's a striker fire versus the FNP, which is a hammer fire. Chris and I both agree that the trigger squeeze on the factory Glock, and probably any factory Glock, there's a lot of creep there. If you get used to it, I'm sure it breaks right when you think it's going to, but it's not, I don't know, it's not as natural to me. But again, I mean, it could be just a preference thing, but the factory trigger on the FNP-45 is quite good. I don't personally feel the same way about the Glock. Quality, they're both incredibly high quality pistols. They've both been through torture tests and performed very well. Capacity wise, the FNP has a slight advantage. It has 15-round magazines versus the Glock's 13-round magazines. I understand you might be able to get some extensions or something like that, but from the factory you can get a little bit extra capacity for the FNP. Weight's pretty similar. The Glock might be slightly lighter. Other than that, They're both really, really good pistols. I'm very impressed with both of them. I've never been much of a Glock guy, and I'm thoroughly impressed with this Gen 4 Glock 21. I might have to pick one up myself. It's really nice. Doesn't really pertain to what we were covering, but here's a quick clip of of the me shooting the my carry pistol, which is the USP Compact 45. Just to give you an idea, for a compact pistol, the recoil's pretty impressive. I'll put it back to Chris shooting the Glock 21 just so you have an idea.